Hey everybody, it's Judy Klock, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Middletown, Virginia, coming to you tonight for a little live demo with one of my favorite online exclusives. Let me swap out my camera so you can see. So this is called the On the Go Suite, and it's a product suite, and it comes with the Tags to Go stamp set, the matching dies, and these are all the shapes that you get with the dies. It comes with these fun shapes. These are on the go puffy stickers. We've got the Baker's Twine in Shy Shamrock, Azure Afternoon, and the new, Strawberry Slush. And then we've got the Designer Series paper, which has those same colors, plush, crushed curry, basic, the pumpkin pie, basic white, and basic black. It's got these cute little like destination markers, the globes and the arrows and the maps, just some nice crosshatch, the keys, the skeleton keys and the regular keys on the keychain, some green paper. These are great. These can all be cut out individually. Okay, you've got that on the back. Got some suitcases. I love the fact that the reverse sides of these are just like a nice basic pattern. Now, these are great for our scrapbookers. You can, let me move this up a little bit. You can cut these out and use these to mount your photos or to write your story in your scrapbooks. And then, of course, you've got just the back. And then also comes with these great little suitcase holders that we use these at Creativity in Bloom. We decorated them when we put the linen thread in here, a spool of linen thread in here. We gave these out as one of the gifts at Creativity in Bloom. So we're going to look at all this stuff tonight. This is the suitcase when it's flat, and we'll show that how to put it together later. But let's get started. So tonight I'm going to do two cards. We're going to do a fairly simple one. Today marks an adventure. We're going to do some stamping and then a little hand add addition with that little line. And then we got over here, we're going to do some fussy cutting. And I'm going to go do Life's Detours Are Better With You. And then I'm not going to do these tonight, but I did want to show you that you can also use this same set for scrapbook pages. So excuse me, 2 years ago, my husband and I got to go on the adventure of a lifetime. And we did an Alaskan cruise. We did the inside passageway. So I was able to scrap just a few of our pictures so far. I want to do more. I just haven't had a chance yet. But this is that Designer Series paper. I used a couple of the puffy stickers in here. I did some die cutting with one of our alphabet sets. So funny story. I wanted to do this in the negative. So I wanted to die cut the letters and then use the negative on the black. So you would see all the blue and just the black letters would show through. So I cut them all out. I got them all set up. I had a piece of black cardstock in front of me. I laid all the negative out on the black cardstock. And I got everything glued together and I flipped the cardstock over to go cut it. And it was actually already mounted to this picture. So behind this picture is the negative of the Alaska. So good thing there's two sides. Then we've got just some more pictures. We did a dog mushers camp that was very fun. We got to meet the sled dogs in training. My husband is holding the little sled dog called Turkey. And then, of course, I made a new friend in Juneau with the bear at the store. But these are our new flip flaps. And these are so fun because underneath, I've written the story of what happened and where we went. But I've got the picture right over it. So these are called flip flaps. And I think these are going to be a fun little addition. And I am going to use them in a card design. I have not yet come up with my card design, but that is on the project for this weekend. All right, so let's get started. For our first card, we're going to do a pretty basic card. I've got a white card base here. It's a standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Let's take our bone folder and just make that crease nice and crisp. I love bone folders for getting that nice crisp crease. Then I've punched out of our Shy Shamrock a 2-inch circle, and then out of our basic white a 1 3/4 inch circle. I've cut out from Azure Afternoon 4 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and from the Designer Series paper, a 1-inch square. So we've got 4 of these. So let's go ahead and mount our, get this out of the way. Go ahead and mount our Designer Series paper on our cardstock. So we're just going to go ahead and mount these. Okay, get those on there. I'm using my liquid glue just because that gives me a little bit of extra time because I didn't put that on straight. There we go. So liquid glue gives you that little bit of extra time to get your stuff in place before it's too late. I like that sometimes because when you use the Stampin' seal, it's definitely stuck. So we like to use a little bit. For those of you who are local to the Winchester, Middletown, Frederick County area, Berryville, Strasburg, we are doing a free workshop. It's really a card event. Come make a free card on Saturday, April 5th from 1 to 3 at the Daily Buzz Cafe in Middletown. You can make a Easter or spring themed card. It is free, but I am asking you to please bring a donation, a food item to donate to the Brookside Church Food Pantry. So it's free. I'm donating my time and my supplies, but I would ask that you give back to our community through donating an item for the food pantry. So I hope to see many of my local friends there. And also, if you are local, or actually anyone, I have been nominated for the Winchester Star Small Business, Women-Owned Business Award, Best of Winchester, in the Women-Owned Business category. So if you would log on to the Winchester Star and vote for me, I would appreciate it. Voting is open now through April 8th. And the more votes I get, the better chance I have to win. You can vote once a day between now and April 8th. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and place these on my card front. And I'm alternating. You'll notice that the green lines I'm alternating whether they go side to side or up and down. I just thought that would give a little bit more visual interest to my card. Maybe not, but it's your card, so you can do whatever you want. And all of these measurements for all of these will be on my blog over the weekend. So don't worry if you didn't write everything down. They'll be back, and I'll put a link in the description, in the video description, to the blog post when it's up and ready. So there we go. So now we've got those on there. So let's go stamp. Today marks an adventure. I'm going to use Azure Afternoon. Okay, and again, this is a 1 3/4 inch circle. If you don't have punches, you can use dies. Whatever you have will work. Okay. There we go. Now I wanted to add a little color to the edge. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to kind of roll it in my ink pad, and you'll see that gives just a little bit of color to the edge of my paper. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and add this to our green circle. Okay. Now, before I do anything else, I want to add, I'm going to take some of our blue baker's twine, and I'm going to loop it around my fingers, like, I don't know, 3 times, 4 times, not too much, but just enough to get some on there. Okay, I'm going to snip it. All right, and then I am going to add this to the back of my circle. Okay, I kind of want to do it in the upper left. Okay, just like that. Okay, today marks an adventure. We've just got our little string there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals here. Okay, we want to have this kind of pop up. I'm going to kind of put one over my string. That just helps hold things in place. Okay. All right. I'm going to kind of add this kind of like off kilter. Then I'm going to come in with our basic black Stampin' Right marker. And there is absolutely no right or wrong way to do this. I am just going to make little lines, and I'm just going to have it curve around. There's absolutely no plan to how I do this. I'm just kind of doing it. And just have it come back, loop back down around, kind of like you're following a trail. Okay, and then we're going to take one of our puffy stickers. I'm going to use, I think I'll use the green puffy. And that's going to kind of mark our destination, right? I'm just going to kind of come back here and do like a little circle. Okay, and with a little dot in the middle. And that's how we mark our destination. And that is it. Now I wanted to go add happy birthday on the inside because today does mark an adventure for a birthday. So I was going to put happy birthday on the inside. I just didn't have a chance to find a nice birthday stamp that I would want to use. So that would be card number 1. Okay. So that is that. Then for card number 2, I kind of did the fussy cutting ahead of time, but we have our Azure Afternoon. This is 11 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of our basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to go ahead and add this on the inside. All right. We've got that. Now I've got this piece. I embossed this with our corrugated embossing folder. I'm going to put that on the front, and I am going to use liquid glue because I find that works better with embossed cardstock. So let's get our liquid glue back out here. Okay. This is almost empty. I gotta get a new one. Okay, there we go. And now we're just gonna add this to our card front. All right, now I cut a bunch of different suitcases. So some are already cut for like the edge. So you can like put that there. Let's see, let's start with our green one because that's the small, that's got the wheels. Let's add our red one, right? Our red one there. We're just going to kind of pile these up. And then we can add our blue one, kind of like that. And then we'll come in here and we'll put this one over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start adding these. We're just going to, and I guess cut these from the edge of the paper. Let me show you. Where's that piece of paper? Let me show you real quick. Nothing's real quick. Oh, that's not it. Here it is. So I just kind of cut these from the edge because I wanted to make sure I got to use these pieces too. So I cut like these and this and that, and then I cut a passport. So don't be afraid to use the little bits and pieces that may not be whole images. You can still use them and make them work. You just got to be creative in how you put them on. So like I said, we'll start with our green one. All right, that's just going to be like the wheels down there. All right, then let's add our red one. Excuse me. I'm going to add our red one. We'll kind of put that there right on top of our green one. Now let's add our blue one. I'm going to stick that kind of behind our red one because, again, that's a partial suitcase. So they're kind of coming off, coming on. Now we're going to take our backpack and we're going to stick our backpack on there, and that kind of covers up the rest of it. Oh, we got a little bit of glue there. All right. Now we've got our passport. Let's throw our passport on there because you got to have a passport. Right. So let's just throw our passport. We'll kind of cover up that little glue spot. All right. So that's kind of how we're going to do our little luggage pile. And I cut the umbrella out, but I don't know if I'm going to use him. And I've got another suitcase here, but I think we're okay. I mean, we could always go put the suitcase. Let's put the suitcase on the inside, just in case, just for giggles and grins, right? We can do that. Let's put our suitcase on the inside. So we'll decorate our inside. And then we could always, if we wanted to, put the umbrella right on top of our suitcase. So now we've used all of our fussy cutting because y'all know how I feel about fussy cutting. So to cut them out and not use them would have been tragic for me. All right, there we go. We've got that. Now let's finish up the front of our card. So we're going to stamp life's detours are better with you. Okay, and I'm going to use our new strawberry slush. This is one of the new in colors that will be coming out in the May catalog. If you are a demonstrator, you can order it now and start playing with it. It is a pretty color. This is a returning color, actually. It was here, oh gosh, several years ago. I would say probably pre-2017 when I joined. So I'm going to, and I've cut out a little, this is one of our little dies. So I've cut out these two. This is like the old, remember the old hotel rooms? They used to have the key tags that were this shape. I just, excuse me. Allergies are killing me right now. All right, so we're just going to thread this through. And we're going to tie these two together. All right, let me cut off some of this twine. There we go. That off to the side. All right, I'm just going to tie these together right now. And it doesn't matter if they kind of like go one behind the other right now. That's fine because we're going to separate them out in a minute. Here we go. This is always so much more nerve-wracking when you're trying to tie a bow live than it is. Okay, wow. All right, not too bad. So I'm just going to kind of separate these like this. And I'm going to actually, I was trying to see if this shape would hold another of the stamps, but it wouldn't. So I'm just reusing it. All right, we're just going to kind of put these up here. Life's detours are better with you. Okay, and then that is it. So those are the two cards I have for you tonight. But I wanted to show you what to do with this, excuse me, suitcase. Now, we did use these for our Creativity in Bloom. As I said, we were giving out the spools of linen thread, and I wanted to package them up in a pretty little way. But I thought, I'm like, these boxes are kind of boring, right? They're plain white. So what I did was I took one of the techniques that I was teaching was the rubber band on the block. So I decorated half of these suitcases just with rubber bands on a block. So what you do is you put all the rubber bands on your block, and then you just ink them up, and then you just stamp. And it doesn't matter how it turns out. It's going to be a very random design. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. People that have OCD or things have to be perfect. You have to just embrace the chaos that is this design, because nothing is ever going to be the same. Every suitcase will come out different. They will all have a different look, but they will all be so pretty. So once we've got all of this stamped, right? We've got all of this, as much or as little as you want. Let's get that handle. And you can just keep going over it and over it and over it. It doesn't really matter because it's supposed to look random and just general, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just random spots on the suitcase. Okay. A little bit messy when you go to take off the rubber bands. So that is our suitcase. That's how we've decorated the outside. So now we're going to take and we're going to fold it in. Now this is going to be our top. The piece with the slit is actually going to be our top cover. So I'm going to fold that back this way for now. These tabs are going to come in. and these tabs are going to come in. This is going to be like the handle part of our suitcase, as you can see. Now we're going to tuck this in and over. And what you can see is there's a little slit there that little tab will fit into. It's kind of hard to see, but you see this piece has like a tab on it. Can you see that's got a tab? And there's like a slit, and that tab fits right into that slit. Okay. There we go. Now, these come in. Okay, these get folded in. This gets folded down. Now, these go in, obviously, on the sides. So when you go to put this in, leave this handle part flat. It actually goes much better if that handle part stays flat like that. So now we're going to go in and we're going to stick these little tabs into the side. And of course, it's not going to go nearly as smoothly as it did when I was first making these, because, you know, we're doing it on camera. So why would anything ever go smoothly? Okay, but it should go smoothly. I promise you, it's not that hard. Okay, my fingers are getting all green. And there you have your little suitcase. Okay, now you can leave it white. You can decorate it. You see on my sample, I left it white and I decorated it. I cut these little signposts out of the designer series paper. I cut our two labels again. This was all one stamp. It was Your Going Places on one big stamp. So I did some masking. I masked off Going Places, stamped up the Your, stamped it on my red, cleaned my stamp, masked off Your, and then inked up Going Places in the strawberry slush, and then put that on there. Then I added one more of those little puffy stickers with the like location marker, and that's how we did that. So those are your options. You can leave it white and decorate it, or you can stamp right on the box and make your own little creation. You can cover it with designer series paper. There's many different ways you can use these, but how great are these? Somebody's going on a trip. They're going on a cruise. They're, you know, maybe you have kids that are going off to college, you know, fun little party favors to use. So that is our on the go suite and all the different things you can make to include scrapbook pages. That is it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this. I will see you all next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.